I am told that Trinette Morris is actually with us right now. Trinette, thank you. Welcome to the show. You just tell us about how your business, Trendy's Gourmet in West Palm Beach, Florida, what's gone on with you since the onset of the pandemic?
Wow. Well, thank you for having me on, Allie. There's a lot that has gone on. We went from one location to being scheduled to open up a second location early May. And I really got thrust into opening up that location 5 weeks earlier than I anticipated, which was interesting. We experienced a 60-65% reduction in our catering business. We were primarily caterers. And so all of our catering business just about dried up. It's just picking back up, thanks to corporate clients who are feeding their staff now. Thankfully, I haven't had to lay off anyone, but there has been a reduction in hours. And really, it's thrust me into owner-operator mode. And so where I was owner and really kind of doing more educational things in this business, in the second location, I'm cooking again, 12, 13 hours a day. I'm the front desk person as well. So it's changed my business model drastically.
Trinette, I want you to talk. This is for Kevin. You tell us about your banking relationship. You have had a banking relationship for 30 years, and yet you had difficulty getting your PPP loan done.
30 years with the same bank. Honestly, it has made me look at banking a lot differently. I'm definitely going small after this. I'm definitely shopping around. I'm not, just going to stay with a bank because that's the bank that my parents opened up my account with as a child. And really, my PPP application didn't get done through my bank. It actually got done through my payroll company. And had they not stepped in and sent information about how to streamline the process and make it easier, I don't know that I would have gotten through the process. Now,
Kevin, we are hearing this from
yet.
a lot. You haven't? Okay, you haven't got anything yet. So, Kevin, one of the things we're hearing from a lot of people. Yeah, and that's what we're hearing from a lot of people, that there has been an advantage, and I suppose this is to be expected, but certainly since the recession, 2008, 2009, when banking became a much more commoditized experience, that relationship with a bank manager used to mean something. Now it sort of means something if you're a big business as opposed to a small business.
Allie, let's not pull any punches here. Bankers are not your personal friends. They never will be. They are a business. Their business is making money off you as long as you play by the rules of banking. Look, I deal with hundreds of regional banks. They've given a mandate, just like being pressed into service as a British sailor was in the late 1800s, to distribute almost $1 trillion. That's their job. And unfortunately, it's not, a clean and easy process. There's going to be some fraud in here. There's going to be some challenges, and not everybody's going to get it. But it was a shrewd move that this entrepreneur made. It's true. The payroll companies were also given that mandate. Brilliant for her to do that. And I want to say something about her business. She sounds like a fighter to me. The strategy for those investments I've made in food services business is to lock off a geography, 30 to 40 miles circumference around that catering facility, and then get somebody who's web savvy to do geo-locked advertising for just that region. Instead of using the delivery services, which take up to a third, you hire your own driver and you form direct relationships within a 30-mile radius, and you sell direct to them at the highest margin you've ever made. That's how you're going to survive. She sounds like she's a fighter. It's a very simple strategy. Instead of giving up a third of your profits to any one of the online services, develop your own direct relationship with people 30 miles away from you and in that circumference. And that is the new 2.0 America for food services. Direct relationship. Facebook is a good tool to do that with. It provides for that kind of geolocking advertising. As long as you have somebody on staff, they're probably in their 20s, that knows how to use the tool.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.